Even when past behaviors or situations have been hurtful, they can feel safe or familiar. Even when past behaviors or situations have been hurtful, they can feel safe or familiar. This false comfort often tempts us to return to what we know, even if it's damaging. I am covering the takeaways from this amazing book called Never Go Back by Dr. Henry Cloud. When I tell y'all this book right here, I am so glad that our coach picked this book for us for this month. This is our book for this month, and it is so good. Like out the gate, the book was good. It's hilarious. It's good. I listened to the Audible, so that's why it's hilarious to me. Just listening to it. And so he starts off by sharing a story of his friend. And this lady was going back and forth with this guy. He was in this relationship with this guy. It was dysfunctional. It was toxic. It was just, she always cried. She was always upset. It was just constant turmoil. And she kept going back. And so his daughter was like, why? They was in Hawaii on the beach. And his daughter's like, why is she crying? What's wrong? And he was like, oh, she broke up with so and so. No, she said, she's having a fight with her boyfriend. And he was like, the same guy? Why did she go back, Dad? I don't understand why she went back. And he said, I don't either. He said, I want to know. She kept asking him. So he was like, you have to ask her yourself. I don't know why she went back. And so I was thinking about like how a 9-year-old can see something that is harmful and hurting to somebody and they can't see it for themselves. It's hard to see that thing when you're in it. So let me share the takeaways from this amazing book. I'm going to cover the introduction to chapter 2. Okay, so the lure of familiar is deceptive, okay? Comfort in what we know. That's how people continue to go back, because there's comfort in what we know versus the discomfort of what we don't know. That's why people stay stuck in a cycle of toxic dysfunctional relationships. Because even when past behaviors or situations have been hurtful, they can feel safe or familiar, okay? This false comfort often tempts us to return to what we know, even if it's damaging. And then we have a false sense of security, okay? So he explains that revisiting old wounds may seem like a refuge, but in reality, it perpetuates the cycle of pain rather than leading us to true healing. The importance of the importance of the importance of true forward focused healing, moving beyond quick fixes. This chapter contrasts temporary patches or superficial fixes with the deep transformative healing required to break free from our past. Healing your response, not just the event. Okay, we have to heal our response, not just the event. A lot of times that's when it comes to the superficial healing, because we've healed from the event, but we don't heal our response to the event. Okay, it isn't enough to address the initial hurt. One must heal the way they react to that hurt. This means changing our internal narrative and emotional responses, because if you don't heal the internal narrative, this is why people are consistently triggered. Okay, and then we have this emotional response to that, right? Recognizing the role of triggers and boundaries. Triggers as beacons. Okay, Cloud encourages using emotional triggers as indicators of areas in need of healing, so that when the wound is ready to heal, the trigger will appear. Okay, when the wound is ready to heal, the trigger will appear. Rather than avoiding them, these signals should prompt introspection and growth. So I like to say a trigger is an invitation for an investigation, an internal investigation. If you are triggered, check in. Don't check the people, check in. Because we got to get that healing. We got to work on that. If not, you're going to continue to be triggered over those things. All right. You want to establish healthy boundaries, okay? By setting clear boundaries, you can prevent the pullback into you. By setting clear boundaries, you can prevent the pullback into harmful patterns and protect the progress you've made. All right. Rebuilding your identity. Separation from past wounds. A central theme is that our identity shouldn't be defined by past hurts. Instead, recognizing excuse me, and healing these wounds allow us to build a healthier and more authentic self. Empowerment through change. This chapter emphasizes that reclaiming your true identity requires making intentional choices to leave behind patterns that no longer serve you. The call to choose a different path. Active decision making. While circumstances or past behaviors might tempt us to revert to old ways, true healing demands an active commitment to moving forward. Embracing change. Cloud challenges readers to recognize that while the door to old habits might remain open, stepping back through it is a circle. Oh my goodness. Who needed to hear that? Let me say that again. Cloud challenges readers to recognize that while the door to old habits might remain open, stepping back through it is a choice, and one that must be consciously resisted to in favor of growth. So when you step back into those old habits, you're stepping back through it is a circle. And you know what happens? It turns into a cycle of dysfunctional, toxic relationships. I never did understand why I too wanted to go back. You know why I wanted to go back? Because it was comfortable. Even though the behavior and the situation was hurtful, it was familiar. It was comfortable. I knew that. I didn't know the unknown that was scary to me. So I understand why people go back to those toxic, dysfunctional relationships. Because even though the past behavior and the situation has been hurtful, they can feel safe or familiar. Wow. That pause was intentional. I wanted you to just process what I just said, and I process it too. In essence, the introduction to chapter 2 sets the stage by underscoring that while our past might always be a part of our story, it doesn't have to dictate our future. Your past may be part of your story. Nevertheless, it doesn't have to dictate your future. True healing involves understanding the allure of what's familiar, addressing both the initial pain and our responses to it, and committing to a forward-focused journey that reveals our identity and strengthens our character. I cut off the last sheet, so I don't know. Matter of fact, let me see what it says. I just added that word, but it might not be what I meant to say. So let me see, because when I cut it off. So let me get that for y'all. One hold, please. Hold, please. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Bum, bum, ba-dum. Oh, let's see. All right. Okay. Here it is. Strengthens our boundaries. Okay, so read that again. True healing involves understanding the allure of what's familiar, addressing both initial pain and our responses to it, and committing to a forward-focused journey that reveals our identity and strengthens our boundaries. So y'all, don't take my word for it. Get the book. It will help you. It will change your entire life. Because a lot of times we tend to go back. Whether